Many of us have credit cards in our wallets, on our phones, or saved on our computers. You might have different cards for different purposes, like one for personal expenses, another for business, one for cash back, and another for traveling. It's no surprise that the credit card industry is thriving. Just in 2023, credit card companies in the US made over $160 billion from consumers. With that kind of money on the line, you can bet your bottom dollar that the companies are going to do everything they can to keep us swiping away. But here's the thing, we're smarter than they think. Today, I'm going to let you in on 15 juicy secrets that credit card companies pray you never find out. You'll want to stick around until the very end too, because I'll also share some tips to reduce your credit card debt. Let's dive in. Number 1, you don't actually need them. How could we possibly survive in this modern world without the tried and true credit card? From paying for your morning coffee to life's biggest purchases, we're conditioned to think we need that magnetic strip of mystique. But let me blow your mind for a sec. You can 100% live the credit card-free life. It's like trading in your newest iPhone for a Motorola Razr from 2005. Totally possible, just a little vintage and inconvenient. Think of it, people live without it for thousands of years. Credit cards are basically you borrowing money up front from a bank that you have to pay back with interest later. Without them, you're living that cash-only life, paying for things solely with your physical cash. You're free from interest charges, temptations, and debt. Ditching the credit card might seem daunting at first, but once you get used to it, you'll wonder why you ever needed it in the first place. Number 2, wealth transfer. Credit cards are basically set up to make it easy for people to spend money they don't have. This can lead to debt and financial problems, especially for those who are already struggling. Here's how it works. When you swipe your card, you're essentially borrowing money from the credit card company. If you don't pay off the full balance by the due date, they start charging you interest on the remaining amount. These interest rates are often ridiculously high, sometimes 16% to 20%. On top of that, if you're late with a payment, you get hit with late fees. For people already struggling financially, these charges can quickly add up, making it even harder to get out of debt. Instead of helping people manage their finances, credit card companies profit from keeping them in a cycle of debt. This means that the wealthy, who often own shares in these financial institutions, are able to profit from the financial struggles of others. In the end, the way credit cards work creates a significant wealth transfer. The rich make money off the backs of the working and middle classes, perpetuating economic inequality. So next time you're tempted to swipe, think about who's really benefiting from that purchase. Number 3, credit cards lead to overspending. Ever noticed how handing out cold, hard cash stings a bit more than swiping a credit card? Picture this. You're out shopping, and you spot those killer sneakers you've been eyeing. If you're paying with cash, you'll likely feel the pinch as you count out each bill. But with a credit card, the black card seems to magically take away all the guilt. But listen, that card can be dangerous. It tricks us into thinking we're not really spending money until it's time to pay the piper, and by then it's too late. So, next time you're tempted to reach for the plastic, ask yourself, would I still buy this if I had to fork over cash right now? It's a simple trick, but it can save you from a world of financial hurt down the line. Number 4, credit card interest rates are criminal. Oh, this one gets me riled up every time. You know that feeling. You're checking out at a store, basket overflowing, when the cashier leans in with a hushed tone. You know, you'd save 15% on your entire purchase today if you opened one of our credit cards. You're caught off guard and feeling those discount butterflies. But it's a trap. You see, once you open that store card, you've just signed yourself up for a lifetime of temptation. Before you know it, you're justifying little purchases week after week because it's a good deal or, but I get triple points. You start spending more money than intended, all because of that measly upfront discount. And usually these cards have crazy high interest rates, and they are not a good deal. At the end of the day, it makes them more money, and not you. They've already figured out that they can handle that 15% off, because they know you're going to spend a whole lot more than that small percent. Credit card companies want to hide the fact that the interest rates they charge, such as 16%, 18%, or even 20%, are incredibly high. Some even go up to 29.99%. Crazy! Who would pay 16% interest in a house mortgage or car loan? Despite this, many people don't think twice about using credit cards, ultimately paying 15% to 20% extra for their purchases compared to if they paid in cash. Number 5. No credit, no problem. Many people think not having a credit score is a death sentence for major purchases you might have to make in the future, like buying a house or renting a car. This is totally false. Not having a credit score doesn't make you irresponsible. It just means you haven't taken on any debts yet. There is something called manual underwriting that allows you to apply for a mortgage without a credit score. Instead of just a credit score deciding, they take a comprehensive look at your financial situation. This may involve showing you've been employed at the same job for a few years, that you've paid rent on time consistently, that you have no outstanding debts, and that you actually have funds for a down payment. It's evaluating you as a responsible person, rather than just a number. The same goes for renting a car. While some rental companies may require a credit check, many are fine doing manual underwriting and accepting alternate documentation that shows you're a low-risk customer. Number 6. No foreign transaction fees. Credit card companies often tack on foreign transaction fees when you make purchases outside of the United States. But here's the truth. There's really no justification for these fees. Essentially, it's an extra charge imposed for the simple act of using your card in a different country. Interestingly, some credit card promotions highlight the absence of foreign transaction fees as a feature, almost as if it's a special perk. But in truth, there's no valid reason for these fees to exist in the first place. It's merely a way for companies to squeeze out more money from consumers for a service that requires no additional effort on their part. Number 7. Credit cards are not your emergency friend. A common justification for having a credit card is just in case of emergencies. People think if their car breaks down or something unexpected happens, they can whip out their magic black card and eliminate the situation. While it provides temporary relief, it's not the solution it's marketed as. The truth is, using a credit card for an emergency simply turns one problem into two problems. Yup, you may have handled the initial emergency situation, but now you're stuck with credit card debt on top of it. What you should have done, rather, is created your own dedicated emergency fund of cash savings. When you have your own emergency fund, you can simply pay for the emergency expense outright without going into debt or worrying about future bills from a credit card. Seriously, folks, if you're constantly battling with overspending, it might be time to say goodbye to that plastic. Cut it up in half and toss it out. You'll thank yourself later. Bonus. All right, here's the ultimate advice to outsmart those credit card companies trying to make a buck off of us. We all know they love to dangle cashback offers and rewards in front of us to get us to overspend. So here's the trick. Never use your credit card to buy something unless you already have the money to afford it. Create a separate account just for your credit card spending. Only use the card when you have enough money in that account to cover the cost. Then set up an automatic transfer to pay off your card in full each month. This way, you're never caught off guard by interest charges. In short, if you can't pay the full balance each month, don't use your credit card. Stick to this plan, and you'll keep more money in your pocket while still enjoying the convenience of credit. Happy spending, but smarter. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you never miss out on our wealth building tips. If you have a friend who could use this advice, make sure to share this video. Until next time.